So this puts me in a bit of a moral crunch because I actually don't want to vote for this tonight. The problem being that I do appreciate that you've negotiated a rate that's very timely. So I guess I'm just curious, supposing that this wasn't a unanimous vote tonight, and this was held up by a month, do we have a sense of how that might affect this interest rate?
Mr. Sjoberg.
Your Worship, it's one of the factors going into the timing of this issuance of the loan. We obviously can't, with any, determine what the rate will be in the future, but the trends are up. So timing is good for us at this point in time. Pressure on interest rates typically is higher. But as I say, we can only go to market at certain points in time and get an assessment from the market.
Okay, that's exactly it. Thank you.
Okay, just so before you start, I just want to go on a procedure issue.
Sure.
Councillor Fraser, you asked about the ability to abstain, and I'm going to refer to the Cities Act, Section 72.3. It says if a member is not required to abstain from voting on a matter before council and abstain from voting, the member is deemed to have voted in the negative.
Okay.
So on the purpose of the bylaw, if you abstain, it's considered a negative, and the consequences would be quite significant.
Sure.
Let's start by saying this, of course, is not unexpected. We did expect to see this report come forward since this council and the province and the Rough Riders came to an agreement on the funding to a new stadium. And the last element of in place for the funding mechanism, of course, is the $100 million of debt that we will be seeing through to tonight with the province of Saskatchewan. So we had approved this actually back in January 13th. We actually approved the funding model, so this is not a surprise. And back in November 2013, we actually instructed the city manager, who I'm going to be speaking some questions in a moment, to pursue external financing and come back to council when he felt that it was time to come back for this council to approve that. So I have a question of the administration on this. By going out and having the administration determine the best time, that is to say the best interest rate, the best opportunity, I'd like to get the administration's perspective on how that works. And secondarily, it's a delegated authority to do this, and actually it's council making the decision tonight as opposed to the administration. Just to clarify on those points.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. In response, of course, as noted, I was instructed in my position to move this process forward based on council's direction, and this loan itself is in partnership, done in partnership with the province, and so we have engaged with the province, you know, as noted, have monitored the markets to understand what is available out there over the course of the last year or so. The markets have fluctuated in terms of rates available to us, so we've stayed in close connection there, and so essentially move forward to determine the right point in time based on what would be most favorable from in terms of a rate, and obviously then as well followed, there's a relatively prescriptive process that we need to follow, basically laid out by the Cities Act, and a number of steps along the way, including public notice. So that has been done to identify that this item is coming forward and being considered. As noted, it has been publicly known for quite some time, and so we've undertaken all those processes. As the mayor has noted, from an administrative standpoint, we have no ability to commit the city or council to this loan. What's required to do that is for city council to pass a bylaw, so that's on the agenda obviously later this evening, but I've acted on your behalf to try and determine proper timing and best rates, and the proper follow the proper process to be able to get us to this point.
So, Mr. Deputy Mayor, to the administration, we're not getting the authority at all to seek the loan out. We are actually asking the administration to prepare for us to make that decision ourselves, which we'll be doing tonight, because council does not go to the market ourselves to say, can we find the best interest rate possible? That's not what our job is. We actually have that function done by the administration. Is that a clear way to say that through Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, that is correct. The city does not have the ability to actually execute on this loan unless City Council passes the bylaw this evening or at a later date. But we can't actually enter into the final arrangements for the loan until a bylaw has been passed by City Council.